Go! Hey everybody, it's Tony and Chris back with another review for the TigerSox series for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet.
Season 2 resumes.
Season 2 is in full effect, and we've got another Hoosier beer from my man Chris in Indiana, Mr. Gone V6, if you want to check him out on Instagram. Good guy, Chris. Comes through with a lot of good beers for us.
Indeed, he does.
I gotta say, honestly, I said this in the last video, I'm honestly thinking we've got to do an Indiana brewery tour, because I had no idea there was so much great beer coming out of Indiana. We haven't tried anything from Upland yet, but so far almost all the beers Chris has sent from Indiana I've been very impressed with.
Same
Even
here.
the Bloody Knuckle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it was
what
exactly.
beer.
It was a mystery beer, but I liked it, and I did feel like I could probably drink other beers from that brewery and like them even better than that one in particular. So just across the board, we've had great beers.
Tin Man has done nothing but impress us.
450 Brewing, 450 North.
Very much,
yeah. If you can get Tony and me to give a thumbs up to a Belgian farm ale, you've really done something. And the juice box. Incredible stuff.
See our previous review we just a couple weeks ago did that one.
Exactly.
One of the best beers, one of the best 2016 beers I've had this year so far.
Chris sent me more of it, and that's the kind of thing I'm actually just sort of keeping in the back of the fridge for special occasions. So, today is also, as I said, a Hoosier beer, a beer from Indiana. This one's out of Bloomington. This is from Upland Brewing.
Upland Brewing, Hopsynth.
So neither Tony nor I have tried anything from Upland Brewing.
Nope.
I'm going to say that between the two of us, I am definitely more of the sour fan than Tony.
This is true.
But it's supposed to be super hopped, making it, we're thinking that it started out life as a blonde sour ale.
Right.
But then it goes through a whole, the explanation explains how it goes through a whole series of dry hopping. Mm-hmm. So Tony said when all was said and done, it almost sounded like an IPA.
Well, I'll read the label to you. It kind of gives you, it's not very long, so, Class is in. Class is in, everybody. Pay attention.
Yeah, put out your cigarettes and get to class.
A blended work of art, just like him. We developed Hopsynth by blending younger batches of our blonde base sour, called Basis, then dry hopping with new and experimental varieties of hops. This non-traditional combination results in a unique balance of tart and hoppy flavors, as well as a range of hop aromas including pine, tropical fruits, and citrus notes. So you're really getting almost like a very bold pale ale or maybe a session IPA, kind of like just injected life into a
sour, blonde sour.
So they say it's unique. It sure sounds like it. I'm pretty eager to give it a shot. Upland Sour Ales. They're even known as, on their label, it actually says Upland Sour Ale, so they actually specifically, I guess that's just their specialty. I mean, they're willing to put it on here as their name. So let's open this bad boy up.
I think Upland Brewing has a whole series of sours is the deal. So yeah, they've...
Yeah. Now, upon first smell...
Wow, I smell both.
Exactly.
Honestly, I smell hops, and I smell sour.
I'm getting so much floral. I'm just like, it's almost like a bouquet of flowers.
In between the two, and then you get...
Like a bouquet of flowers, just like when you go into a florist and you open up the door of a cooler and you get that wisp of air just kind of... That's kind of what that smells like.
I'm getting that, but flowers. I'm getting... you gave your mom flowers for Mother's Day. Now it's a week later, and the flowers start to take on that slightest bit of bitter smell. That's what I'm getting. So, yeah,
I agree with
floral,
that.
But...
Have a glass, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. I'm not really getting so much of like a prevalent hop because hops always usually dominate a bouquet anyway. But cheers.
Cheers.
Well, let's pour it first. Let's drink our invisible beer. Oh wow, that is really just like pear juice, kind of like carbonated pear juice coming out of here.
Thank you.
Give that a shot.
Put that right up into the camera.
Golden.
I'd say that's very heavy carbonation. After a few swirls, well, that head isn't going anywhere. Not a particularly thick head, but it is a resilient one. That's for sure. Somewhere between hazy and cloudy. I mean, somewhere between clear and cloudy.
It's kind of almost like a smoky,
like exactly. If you wispy. It's more wispy than
if you saw smoke coming out, like if you were to light some incense and saw
that tiny little funnel-y type
real
of cloud.
exactly, just that real fine element of smoke rise from it. I'm seeing it from where I'm sitting.
Are you getting any cinnamon? I'm getting like a...
I am. I'm getting cinnamon. I'm getting pear big time. I'm getting it on my nose.
Getting citra hops for sure. That's
it just still.
I really smell the citra hops. I smell the sour. This almost. I mean, it almost smells like lambic yeast.
Yeah. I was just about to say I'm getting yeast is really rising up on this thing right now. You're getting a bunch of stuff. I mean, yeast, pears, sweetness, the floral bouquet. I mean, just a mixture of flowers. I mean, it's interesting. We shall.
Cheers.
Bottoms up, everybody. It's more weedy than I expected it to be.
And
there's like some real prevalent wheat followed by instant sourness, like following the weediness.
This, well, let me take another taste before I say what I was about to say.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Like a lemon? I'm getting
I'm sticking with it. I would say if somebody threw lambic yeast into a Hefe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. Because
I would say so too, because of the fact that it's sour and lemony.
For my Kansas City people, those of us who grew up on Boulevard's unfiltered wheat, which is technically a Hefeweizen, and I never really thought about it, but it actually is. And I'm not a fan of Hefeweizens, but I did grow up on unfiltered wheat, and I don't feel like unfiltered wheat is a typical. It's more of a wheat ale, I think, than a Hefeweizen. It's more of an American wheat ale as opposed to a Hefe, but it does fall within the confines of being a Hefe.
Right.
That's what this is like. This is like Boulevard's unfiltered wheat with lambic yeast.
Yeah, I agree completely. The sourness, to me, defeats any hoppiness. I'm not really getting hops to where you're like, pulling out a pine, pulling out a grassy, pulling out a... I mean, it's lost to me. It's like yeast, sour, lemon. And because of those three things, I'm just like, I'm not getting any hops. I mean... I'm sure,
I'm even getting a little pineapple, to be honest. That's why I said Hefe, because there's
yeah, for sure.
Pear,
I got pear at first.
I would say the American wheat ale is the American version of a Hefeweizen, and I'm honestly a little surprised to learn that this was blonde. Because blondes aren't normally so weedy, and I'm guessing that the hops ended up with a wheat addition rather than a hop flavor.
Which is interesting because they actually call it Hopsynth. Yeah. I mean, to actually give your name your beer that name, obviously, you put two and two together. You're like Hopsynth. They're synthesizing, or whether it's synthetic or they're just blending hops with another kind of beer. But I'm just not really getting hops. I mean.
Okay, so now I'm going to ignore the name of the beer. Okay. I'm just going to drink this.
Just ignore it. Shut and drink the name. What the hell's wrong with you? One. I can't say I'm a fan.
If this was
I'm not real wild about this one, folks.
Yeah, it's not
doing much for me, I'm afraid.
I will say this. If you're somebody who is looking to develop a taste for sours, this is actually a pretty good one. This is not overly sour.
It's not overly sour, but I mean, there's so many sours on the market that are so readily available.
I don't know the price point on this, and that has a lot to do with it.
That's important too. I mean, it is the blue collar beer gourmet. So
if this is actually if you can get this, pint 0.6 bottle. This is a 16.6 ounce bottle, fairly inexpensively, and you are, as I said, trying to develop a taste for hops. Because I know what it's like to try and develop a taste. Right now, I've never been a big fan of Box, and the next review you're going to see from me coming up not the next one, but coming up very soon. The Polish beer that I recently reviewed, the Porter, the brewery has a Bock available. I picked it up at the European market just yesterday.
Right on.
And I've been trying to develop an appreciation for Bock.
I like
it was about a year ago, actually. I was at a snafu meeting, and Lawyer Jimmy brought out 3 different bottles and had us all try something. And I discovered how little I actually knew about Bocks, because I thought it was just a standard brown ale, and he had a Bock. So I'm looking past the fact that I don't like Shiner's flagship beer, which is the Bock. I do like other beers from Shiner, though. So I need to learn more about box, and this one's coming from Poland. So if you are somebody who's tried, sometimes you do want to develop a taste for something. Like you can understand that there's a reason everybody appreciates something, but you just can't figure out why.
But I would think,
and if you are trying to develop a taste for sour, I would say this is a good one to do that.
I won't disagree, but I would say if you're gonna want to toy around with sours and familiarize yourself with the style, I would actually go with a tried and true sour, not one that was basically a hybrid, because even the bottle says, we took this beer, we did this to it. Now you have this, beer, like a kind of a blend, more or less is what the label says. I'd rather introduce someone to a sour that's just like, here's a real true, tried and true sour. Maybe it's tame, like, if you were to put an adjective to it, like a session. Mm-hmm. But I know that's not the word I'm looking for, but I don't know. I don't even know if I would introduce this beer to someone.
Well, the thing is, and that's very fair too, because when I always think about if you're trying to develop a taste, I always imagine somebody starting from Budweiser and then trying to develop a taste forward. So if you're already a craft beer drinker and you're trying to develop a taste for sours, this is not the beer. This is more like what Tony was saying. If you're a craft beer drinker trying to develop a taste for sours, go and get a tried and true sour ale. There's 100 of them out there. If you're a craft beer drinker who's got gobs of sour ales in your fridge, and you got a Budweiser-loving friend over, and you say, look, man, I'm going to introduce you to sours, and this is how I'm going to do it. Honestly, and you live in the Midwest, have a bottle of this on hand. If that's your scene, if you want everybody to go not hop, but if everybody to go sour, have a bottle of that on hand and introduce it to your Coors Light-loving friends and say, this is the way a sour can go.
Right.
But craft beer drinkers, this is not and if you're a sour fan, this is not a sour for the ages.
Not now that I'm having a couple sips and letting it kind of resonate. Now I'm getting some champagne. I'm getting like elements of champagne. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I'm drinking a champagne cocktail, but instead of whatever, I don't remember what all ingredients go into a champagne cocktail other than champagne, but it's almost like someone just took a glass of champagne and a Hefeweizen and threw them together. Mm-hmm. It's very weedy and bubbly and sour, of course, but I can't say I'm enthused about this one, I'm afraid.
This is probably going to give, I'm on Untapped, I'm probably going to give it about I'm thinking a 3. Maybe a 3.25 because it's better than average.
Okay, when it comes to my Untapped, if you see 3, that basically is the lowest I'll go.
Me too, more often than not. Yeah.
Because I know that there's people out there that they put a lot of work into it, and I try to appreciate the art, the craft. So I know that there's people out there that refine everything they do to make it work and bottle it and put it out there for. So I have to at least give like an E for effort. My equivalent to that is a 3. So if you see if you see my Untapped. If you see anything below a 3, that means it was a train wreck, and I would never, ever drink it ever again.
Or it's just corporate swill,
Right, or it's corporate swill.
Right. I don't feel bad about giving it a 2.5. But yeah, if you're a small brewer, I try to give you as much credit as I can. I will say this though, this is interesting enough that I'm willing to try other beers from Upland. However, if somehow Upland Brewing manages to get a desert distributor. And I saw other Upland beers in Total Wine or Lee's. I would definitely pick up another Upland beer.
And I think if you are a sour fan, this might be a good brewery to try because they actually, like I said a little while ago, their label says Upland Sour Ale, so they must have a variety of sours. Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy about this particular one. They can't all be winners, as we know. Mm-hmm.
But we still want to give thanks to Chris for this.
Of course, absolutely.
Always glad to get more beers. Absolutely. And I will say it's better than a lot of the beers that are out there. I'll put it that way.
Sure. Of course.
Yeah. No doubt Until then, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, and before we leave, we need to destroy this computer.
Let's destroy.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Bye, everybody.
Self-destruct sequence activated.